Okay, I got to change this bearing. There's my new one right here. Got this spring here. Got to put it over to the new one. Here's my new timing belt. This is a blue Gates racing timing belt. Supposed to be a lot stronger. It's got marks on it where things are supposed to line up. Okay, there's a spot in this tensioner for a Allen wrench so you can tension it. Put the bolt back in where the balancer goes. Okay, I'm watching for the timing marks on the cams to come back up, and also the crank indicator down here. Okay, so right now she's set up the stock cam timing. This indicator on the crank is lined up with the mark. This dot's lined up with the little indicator on the back 10. This one here is a tiny bit off, but extremely close. Now, if this was a stock deal, I'd leave it right like that. But I'm going to retard both cams one tooth. And what that does is it moves your power range up higher in the RPM. Also, I read a few things on the Z31 Performance Forum and saw a few dyno graphs, and they say that you can take the stock cams and retard them a tooth, and with some other minor modifications gain around 20 horsepower, I think it was, plus or minus. And you can get away with this with probably stock cams, no problem. However, if you had high performance cams in here, I wouldn't just willy-nilly be moving it a tooth, because that's about 9 degrees if I did my math right. One tooth moving on this is 9 degrees, which is a pretty big swing. If you had racing cam gears in here, you'd put a degree wheel on the crank and degree them in per the manufacturer's instructions. And then a better way to do it, rather than skipping teeth, because it's such a coarse adjustment, is to get adjustable cam gears, and then you can fine tune it that way. But for a stock engine, I'm not too worried about it. So let's see if we can retard these cam gears. So I've made a mark on the belt of where I want the cam indicator to be, and as long as things don't move on the bottom, I'll be okay. Okay, got some tension on her. Let's crank it over again. See if everything lines up. Now when you're doing this, be careful and try to feel the engine and make sure it doesn't feel like the valves are hitting the pistons when you're turning it over. Our marks are coming up. Quick look, make sure we're coming up on one, which we are. So now I'm going to line up the indicator on the crank. pretty good. Now we'll take a look up here at the cam gears. Just going to use my screwdriver as a pointer. And it definitely looks like it's retarded a tooth. And so is this one. So that looks good. I'll run it around a couple times. Kind of get a little stretch in the belt. Back up to top dead. That looks good. Check the cam gears one more time. They're looking good. Going to redo the tension. She might be a little on the tight side, but the belt's probably going to stretch a little, loosen up, so I'm not going to sweat it. So now, we've got this cover left. And I need the top dead center indicator, but I don't really need all this other stuff. So, I do need these top two bolts though to bolt it, or the bottom pair to bolt it. So, I gotta figure out which ones I want to trim off. Okay, I've got this lower shield piece cut. I've saved 3 of the bolt holes. Get it bolted back on. So now I've got my timing indicator pointer back. Now this is an extremely crude way of doing this. And if this was a race engine, I would be making a heavy-duty fixed pointer and bolting it to like a couple bolts on the block or the water pump or something like that. But for this stock engine use, this is good. Also, since I've relieved this, hopefully I can see my mount from underneath, but probably not, because this is in the way. Unless this has got a indicator on it, which it does not. Okay, I'll clean this up a bit. Okay, checking to make sure that my bottom gear marks and this mark on the cover, aluminum cover, are lined up, which they are. Take the bolt back out. Wire brush, clean up around the key and the face and the end of the snout. Wipe it off real good. Check my timing marks. They look good. Put this shield back on. There we go. Clean up my pulley. Clean up this face here. Wire brush the keyway. and around the inside of the snout. Looks good. Slide it on. Okay, everything's looking good. Put a little bit of blue Loctite on this bolt. And they're in there. Put her down intact. Okay, so now that I've moved the cam gear, I've also moved the distributor because it runs off the cam gear. That's why I marked where it was pointed originally so that I can put it back there. So we'll grab a wrench here. Loosen up the hold down clamp. Move the distributor to the new position, tighten her down. Of course, I'll have to check the timing with the timing light and everything. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.